Oi, bruv, let me get a jack of potato with cheese, beans, tuna. Hot take, it low-key looks good. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm lying. But yeah, let's get straight into the first fight. UFC Fight Night Edwards versus Brady. I'm excited for this card. Guram Kutateledze versus Kawe Fernandez. I gotta go with Guram Kutateledze. I just don't think Kawe Fernandez is gonna. I don't know. This is a weird fight to pick because you think Guram is like this world beater. You think he should win this fight. Got a win over Gamrot, robbery. Got a win over Jordan Vucenic in his last fight, who's very good. Almost got finished in the first round. But yeah, I don't know, man. He's 2-2 in the UFC. His two losses, he got TKO'd by Elvis Brenner and got lost a split decision to Demirs Magulov. So I don't know. Guram is like people were really hyping this guy up like not too long ago, and I just don't see it. Like I really don't. I thought he lost to Gamrot. He should be 1-3 in the UFC in my opinion. And I don't know. He's had no real like standout performances in the UFC, and I just think that I just think he's kind of mid and kind of overrated. Maybe I don't know about overrated anymore. I feel like people are kind of starting to understand that Guram just isn't what people think he is, and he's just not this elite guy that's just gonna beat everybody. He just isn't. So yeah, Kawhi Fernandez looked good in his last fight. KO'd Muhammad Yahya in the first round, but Muhammad Yahya is not UFC level. Guram is UFC level, even though I don't think his rank potential. He's definitely one of the more crafty, skilled guys in the unranked area. I don't know. He should win this fight. He's the better fighter. He's shown more. He's more experienced. And yeah, I think Guram Kutateledze gets this one done. Let's move on to the next fight. Cowlin Loughran versus Nathan Fletcher. I gotta go Nathan Fletcher by decision. I just think he's the more technical, skilled, more experienced, not experienced, but the more technical, better guy. He's better. He just is. Got a good win over Zigomanis Ramaska in his last fight. Submitted him in round two with an arm triangle. They were kind of going back and forth. Um, and Colin Loughran is a blockhead. He's kind of like a mini Marvin Vittori, 2-1 in the UFC. He lost his debut to Taylor Lapilus. We know Taylor Lapilus is pretty good. I'm pretty sure Lapilus got cut, which is weird. He was on like a bit of a streak, but yeah, Taylor Lapilus gets a win in his next fight over Angel Pacheco. His volume looked good in that fight. Got a lot of ground strikes and beat Angel Pacheco by decision. And then in his next fight, just loses to Jake Hadley, a flyweight coming in on short notice, just kind of outskilled and outcrafted Calvin Loughran. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Nathan Fletcher is kind of just like a bigger, better Jake Hadley. I don't rate Jake Hadley that highly. He's not terrible, but like he's kind of mid. I don't know. I see a lot of people saying, Jake Hadley's a problem, man. Jake Hadley's a dark horse. He's not. Like Jake Hadley's kind of mid. He's overrated. I don't know. I just don't really rate Jake Hadley that highly, and he pretty easily just kind of shut down the game of Calvin Loughran and 30-27 him. So yeah, I don't know. I think Nathan Fletcher is going to be able to get the takedowns. Even if he doesn't get the takedowns, Loughran's not going to be able to get the takedowns. And on the feet, Fletcher's going to be throwing more. Calvin Loughran freezes up sometimes, struggles to get his volume off. He kind of just walks forward. He's hittable. And yeah, I think I think Nathan Fletcher is going to pick up a decision win here. Let's move on to the next fight. Shauna Bannon versus Pooja Tomar. I'm not picking Pooja Tomar. She has a 59-inch reach, and she's not UFC level. I thought she lost her UFC debut to Rayani Dos Santos. I gave her the decision. I don't know how Pooja Tomar got that. Well, I mean, I shouldn't say I don't know how she got that. It was a close fight, but I thought Rayani Dos Santos won. So I don't know. I don't think Pooja Tomar's UFC caliber. No finishing potential. She has a 59-inch reach. She's not going to be able to land anything significant. She's going to have to get in the range of Shauna Bannon. I think Shauna Bannon, more UFC experience. She actually has a win at this level against Elise Ardelin in her last fight. Close fight, but I don't know. I thought Shauna Bannon won it. And then before that, fought Bruno Brazil. And yeah, she lost to Bruno Brazil, but like Bruno Brazil is not the worst fighter, and she took a round off of Bruno Brazil. So I don't know. Bruno Brazil's way better than Puja Tomar. I think Bruno Brazil with 30-27 Puja Tomar. So I don't know. The fact that Shauna Bannon took a round off of her is kind of impressive. I don't know. I just think Shauna Bannon's the better fighter. Puja Tomar is. I don't think either of these people are UFC caliber. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think either girl is UFC caliber. Bottom of the barrel in this weight class, and yeah, I just think Shauna Bannon is slightly ahead and more experience. She's got the reach advantage. She's gonna be able to use it. Circling the outside, 1-2s, jabs. Tomar's gonna be trying to get in, trying to be aggressive, but I just don't think it's gonna work. So Shauna Bannon's gonna be landing more and landing as the maybe not landing more. I think Puja Tomar has good volume, but I just can't trust the 59-inch reach, and I just think Sean O'Bannon is better. So yeah, Sean O'Bannon, split decision. Let's move on to the next fight. Andre Pulayev versus Christian Leroy Duncan. I'm taking Christian Leroy Duncan as a lock. CLD, man. He's my lock of the week. He's a huge favorite, minus 550, but I understand those odds. It honestly, I wouldn't even mind if they were higher. Andre Pulayev is just not winning this. CLD's a lock. Getting CLD as a debut is crazy. Pulayev is not ready for this. I went back and watched his Contender Series fight, and he didn't look horrible. You know, his striking looked decent. It looked dynamic. He was mixing it up to the body well, but dude, there were moments in that fight where his opponent just got on top of him and started grounding pounding him. If that was Christian Leroy Duncan, he's going to start raining down some big heavy elbows, and he's finishing Pulayev there. Christian Leroy Duncan has nasty ground and pound. We've seen it in the Claudio Ribeiro fight, I believe, where he just beat his head in on the ground with elbows. On the feet, he's going to be a little quicker than Pulayev, smarter, more dynamic, more powerful. I just think he's going to be able to get the win here. I think he finishes him in round two, and he's going to be a lock for me, man. Christian Leroy Duncan, one of my favorite unranked fighters. One of my favorite fighters in general. Probably my favorite unranked middleweight, honestly. I was rooting for him against Gregory Rodriguez. I don't remember who I picked in that fight. Probably Gregory Rodriguez, but Christian Leroy Duncan, man. He turned Gregory into a wrestler. Gregory was shooting nonstop takedowns, took him down like 4 times, had like I think like eight minutes of control, something like that. Yeah, 8 minutes and 20 seconds of control. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, Pulayev, he has a V at the end of his name. He's gonna take him down. No, Pulayev can't wrestle for shit. This guy's a pure striker. He's very frail for the division, very like long and rangy. But I think Duncan's just gonna be landing harder, landing way more experience at the highest level. He's fought guys like Gregory Rodriguez, um, Armen Petrosian. Yeah, I mean not the best experience, but like he's fighting these like UFC caliber guys. And Andre Pulayev looked kind of mid against Liam Nelson or Liam Anderson, excuse me. And Liam Anderson had some moments. Like I think CLD can even mix in some takedowns. I think he's gonna outstrike him in the first round, have some good moments, hurt Andre Pulayev, and then maybe get a takedown in round two and ground and pound TKO him. This guy's good, man. Christian Leroy Duncan, super fun, super good fighter, and he's gonna be my lock of the week. Easy lock of the card, most confident pick. And yeah, Christian Leroy Duncan for the win. Let's move on to the next fight. Marcin Tybura versus Mick Parkin. I like Mick Parkin. I like the record. It looks good. He's fighting in his hometown. He's going to get the hometown crowd, but I got to go with Marcin Tybura here. History shows that when these prospects face Tybura, he just gatekeeps. And Mick Parkin going from beating Lucas Brzeski to fighting Marcin Tybura is a huge step up in competition. Not the same Polish fighter. Marcin Tybura is a different type of Polish power. Way more well rounded, way more ways to win, way more experience. And I don't know, I think to beat Tybura, you need two things. You need really good takedown defense and you need stopping power. Parkin's takedown defense, it's shown to be solid. Not perfect, but it's shown to be solid. And in terms of stopping power, I mean, the guy has one KO in the UFC, and it's against Lucas Brzeski, who gets KO'd by like everybody. So I don't know. I just don't think he has the necessary tools to beat a guy like Marcin Tybura. I think this is a horrible style matchup for him. We seen in Tybura's last fight, he faced a undefeated prospect who was mainly a kickboxer, and that was Jonata Deniz. And Jonata Deniz got taken down, ground and pounded, just beaten up, and he ate Deniz's best shots and didn't get put down. And Deniz has a lot more power than Mick Parkin, I promise you that. And if we look at Marcin Tybura's record, he hasn't been dropped in a very long time. He got dropped in the Aspinall fight, obviously. This Tom Aspinall. Everybody gets dropped by Tom Aspinall. He got finished by Aspinall. But other than that, 2019. Since the Aspinall fight, he hadn't been knocked down since 2019. So like I don't know, it's just it's super tough to put this guy down. It just is. And Mick Parkin, not only is it tough for power punchers to put this guy down like Jonata Deniz, Mick Parkin is kind of pillow fisted. And like I don't know, I'm just not impressed with Mick Parkin's performances. Muhammad Usman took a round off of him. I don't like that. Caio Machado took a round off of him. I don't like that. Like decision with Jamal Pose. Like I don't know. I don't know. He's got volume. He's got output. He's English. He's got the hometown crowd by his side. But I think people are overhyping Mick Parkin a bit. I think Marcin Tybura is going to be able to survive on the feet. If he survived fucking if he survived the power of Jonata Deniz, he's going to survive the power of Mick Parkin. Mick Parkin does not really have much power. And I don't know. I just think Tybura gets it done. I think he's gonna take Mick Parkin down. He only has a 50% takedown defense, taken down by Eduardo Neves. And other than that, nobody has really even tried to shoot takedowns on him. Jamal Polk shot one takedown. Kyle Machado shot one takedown. Muhammad Usman didn't shoot any takedowns. Lucas Brzeski didn't shoot any takedowns. But Marcin Tybura is going to be pressuring and putting the takedowns on him. And I think if he gets Parkin down, we haven't seen Parkin on his back really. And I don't know. I think if Parkin gets put on his back, I think he's going to get exposed a little bit. So I'm going Marcin Tybura by decision. Let's move on to the next fight. Loner Kavanagh versus Felipe Dos Santos. I'm picking Felipe Dos Santos as an underdog. Let me explain why. I know a lot of people are locking Loner Kavanagh. They're saying he's the lock of the card, easy pick, free pick. Most people are confident in Loner Kavanagh, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little worried about this pick. But I went back and watched some tape. I watched Felipe Dos Santos' UFC fights. I watched Kavanagh's Contender Series performance. I watched his debut. I did a little bit of digging. I think Felipe Dos Santos is going to get the upset. I think he is. There is one thing I noticed about Loner Kavanagh. When it turns into a dogfight, his style does not work as effectively. His style works best when people point fight with him. They go counter for counter, strike for strike, because he's quick, he's fast, he's got good counters, good power. Like on the Contender Series, he was able to land the nice counter shot to put the guy out. But in his UFC debut against Jose Ochoa, Jose Ochoa turned it into a dogfight, and he had moments against Loner Kavanagh. Hurt him to the body at one point, was landing good. And another thing I noticed about Loner Kavanagh, when it turns into a dogfight, he's kind of gun shy at certain moments. You know, there was moments in that fight where he could have let off a couple more punches, but he didn't. He held back. He was looking for the counter, looking for his right shots. Felipe Dos Santos is going to be pushing on the gas. He's going to be moving forward. He's going to be striking. He's going to be landing. He's going to be throwing a bunch. He's going to be aggressive. He's going to be unorthodox. He's going to be dynamic. And I think that kind of style of like aggressive, just walking forward can cause problems for Kavanagh, especially guys with a good chin. Felipe Dos Santos has a really good chin. He went to a war with Manel Kape. I know he got dropped and hurt in the first round, but Manel Kape is like finishing guys and styling on them now in the rankings. Felipe Dos Santos ate all of his shots and only got put down once, and he was fighting real aggressive. And that was short notice, and he arguably took a round off Manel Kape, a top 5 flyweight in the world. And then after that, split decision to Victor Altamirano. Arguably should have lost that fight, but still, Victor Altamirano has the Mexican fighting spirit, great cardio. He's hard to deal with, crafty. And then he loses to Andre Lima in his next fight, but he was giving Andre Lima some problems in that first round, and Andre Lima had to resort to takedowns. Andre Lima, we watched him last weekend. He looked like the best 125er in the world. And I think Andre Lima is already a top 8 flyweight in the world. Probably top 5, to be honest. I think this guy could beat like a Brandon Moreno. Andre Lima is super talented. I know that's probably a crazy take, and I'm going to take that with a grain of salt, but he could do good against some of the top 5 flyweights. I'm telling you right now, Andre Lima is very talented. So losing a 29-28 decision to Andre Lima is not a bad look at all. And like, I don't know, Felipe Dos Santos, he has the experience advantage. He's tasted defeat. He's not afraid of it. Kavanagh's going to be a little bit more timid. He's going to be a little bit less willing to just brawl because, you know, he's like, oh, I don't want to lose my undefeated record. I don't want to lose. Felipe has come to terms with losing, but he only loses to the highest level guys. And I don't know if Kavanagh is at that level. He doesn't have the grappling to fall to like Andre Lima did if the striking doesn't work. And on the feet, he's not Manel Kape. I'm sorry, he just isn't. I know he's fast. I know he's good, but he's not. He's no Manel Kape from what we've seen so far. Manel Kape with 30-26 Jose Ochoa and probably finish him. Like, I don't know, man. Loner Kavanagh's good, but I have a weird feeling there's going to be an upset in this fight. I got a weird feeling that Dos Santos is going to be able to mix things up. He's going to be aggressive. He's going to be able to land. He's quick. Even though I think Kavanagh's going to be a little bit quicker, I feel like he's going to be gun shy in moments. He's not going to be as willing to brawl. He's going to be kind of getting. I feel like he's going to get out volumed by Felipe Dos Santos early on. And then as the fight goes on, maybe he starts to pull away from Felipe. Felipe can mix in the grappling. He's probably the better grappler in this matchup. I know he doesn't seem like it, but he trains with the guys at Shuto Box. He's a Shuto Box Diego Lima guy. He has at least some level of grappling. And I'm sure it's going to be getting better. He's still young. He's still improving. And I just think he's going to be too much at this stage for Loner Kavanagh. And yeah, I don't know. I'm nervous. This is like the closest fight on the card for me. I don't know why Felipe Dos Santos is such a big underdog. Like, I think he wins the fight. I think he beats Loner Kavanagh. But yeah, I'm going Felipe Dos Santos, man. If they rob him because of like hometown advantage, I'm gonna cry. But yeah, let's move on to the next fight. Jai Herbert versus Chris Padilla. I'm gonna have to go with Chris Padilla. He's just a marauder. He just moves forward, knocks you out, hurts you, damages you, gets you down, submits you. This guy can finish you everywhere. Super dangerous guy, and I think he wins this fight. Jai Herbert, he is gonna have a reach and length advantage, and I think he can like I think he can do something similar to what I think Bannon's going to do against Puja Tomar. Just circling the outside, 1-2s, low kicks, just keeping Padilla at range. But I think Padilla gets in and hurts him and gets him down. I think he's going to choke him out in the second round. But I'm not taking him as a lock. I'm seeing some people say Chris Padilla is the lock of the card. Chris Padilla is, Chris Padilla is an easy pick. This is a hard fight to pick. Jai Herbert is good. Jai Herbert can win this fight. 100% Jai Herbert can win this fight. But I just can't trust him. He's just too inconsistent. He's been submitted before. He's been finished before. On the contrary, he doesn't really finish people himself. He's pillow fisted. He doesn't really hurt people. And I don't know. I just don't think Jai Herbert has that dog in him that Chris Padilla does. And I think Chris Padilla is going to march forward, outdog Jai Herbert, and get a second round submission victory. If Jai Herbert wants to win this, he cannot engage in a brawl. He will lose. If he wants to win this, he's got to stay on the outside, stick his jab, 1-2s, stay composed, stay calculated, stay ahead on the strikes, utilize his range, utilize his kicks. But I don't think it's going to be enough. I think Padilla's going to find a way inside. I think he's going to be able to land punches. We've seen Jai Herbert get taken down multiple times by people, and I think Chris Padilla is going to be no different. I think he's going to be able to take Jai Herbert down, and I think he finds the submission. So yeah, Chris Padilla, second round submission over Jai Herbert. Let's move on to the next fight. Nathaniel Wood versus Morgan Charrier. I have to go with Morgan Charrier. He's just too good. I know the record looks ugly, 20-10, but I promise you most of those losses were way earlier in his career, and the other losses were to like high-level opposition outside of the UFC. And one of those losses to Chepe Mariscal, split decision. I thought he could have won that fight. That was very close, very competitive, could have went either way. It went to the hands of Chepe Mariscal, and Chepe Mariscal is a marauder. He's undefeated in the UFC. He's beating the shit out of all these guys. He's definitely ranked level, and Charrier arguably beat him. So I don't know, man. Nathaniel Wood's good, but I just don't think he's going to be able to do enough to get this one done. I think Charrier is the better fighter. I think he's more technical, more dangerous, better grappler, better striker, fucking higher fight IQ, everything. He's just better. He's just better than Nathaniel Woods. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Morgan Charrier to get this one done. Second round TKO. First round, they kind of trade shots back and forth. Charrier hurts him, probably drops him. Nathaniel Woods survives, and then second round, his luck is gonna run out. Charrier is gonna land something big and put Nathaniel Wood out cold. Maybe not out cold, but I think he's gonna TKO him. So yeah, Morgan Charrier is the pick, the last pirate. Yeah, I think Morgan Charrier gets it done. Let's move on to the next fight. Jordan Vucenic versus Chris Duncan. This is my lock of the card and my most confident pick. I think I said that about CLD earlier. I can't remember, but if I did, then I take that back. This is my most confident pick of the card. Jordan Vucenic. I'm taking him by round one submission. He arguably could have beaten Guram in that fight. You could argue that that fight should have went to Vucenic, but it went to Guram. Close fight, not a robbery. Could have went either way. But Vucenic had him out early in that fight. Dropped him, hurt him bad. And Chris Duncan, man, I'm just not impressed. I'm just not impressed with Chris Duncan. He's not the worst fighter of all time. He's not terrible, but he's not amazing. Got KO'd by Vyacheslav Borshev. Got choked out in the first round by Manuel Torres. Last fight, he guillotined Balagioki. I don't know. I'm just not too impressed with Chris Duncan. I think Jordan Vucenic is a much higher level fighter. He's going to be able to hurt him on the feet. He's going to be able to land something big. And I think he's going to drop him, chase the submission, and get a round one submission over Chris Duncan. Not really much else to say. I think Jordan Vucenic is the clear pick here, and I think you all should know this. So yeah, bet the house on Jordan Vucenic, round one sub. Let's move on to the next fight. Molly McCann versus Alexia Thainara. I'm going to go with Alexia Thainara. Molly McCann is exactly what her name suggests. She is a can. She is low level. She's not good. All of her wins are flukes. She has no technical ability. She just marauds her way to wins. And Alexia Thainara, I think she's going to be a little too technical, even though it's on short notice. She looks very impressive. Her grappling game is good. Her striking game is very good. Good kickboxer, good power. She's going to have a reach advantage in this fight. And I think she can piece up Molly McCann and win a decision. Molly McCann just doesn't impress me. I'm not going to lie. She got destroyed and schooled by Bruna Brazil in her last fight. And I know Bruna Brazil is not the worst fighter, She's solid, but getting 30-27, shut down and schooled by Bruno Brazil and having like no moments. Like I don't know, man. Bruno Brazil or Molly McCann is mid. I don't know. Molly McCann's just not a great fighter. Um, yeah, all of her wins are just marauding fluke KOs. And I don't know. I think her luck's starting to run out. I think Alexia Thainara is going to be able to get down Molly McCann. I think she can out grapple her. I think she can out strike her. I think she can knock her out if she really wants to. Probably not. Molly McCann's pretty durable. Probably not a knockout, but I think she can hurt her at least. And yeah, I'm going Alexia Thainara by 29-28 unanimous decision. Let's move on to the next fight. Kevin Holland versus Gunnar Nelson. I'm seeing some people overthink this pick. I'm seeing some people overthink this fight. And I'm sorry, Gunnar Nelson is not winning. Kevin Holland is the pick. I know I put the odds at 50-50, but that's just because Kevin Holland's retarded and gives up sometimes and doesn't even care about winning. But he's got to be taking this fight somewhat serious. If he's cutting back down to welterweight, he's actually putting in the effort to cut down. So if he makes weight, that means he's obviously locked in and focused. He's a lot better at welterweight. Gunnar Nelson is not a 6'4", 230-pound Rainer de Ritter that's going to come fucking marching towards him and taking him down. Gunnar Nelson is small. He's not small. He's like a normal size welterweight, but he's not going to have a size advantage over Holland. Holland's going to have like a 9-inch reach advantage. He's going to be way taller, way faster on the feet. I think he catches Gunnar Nelson on the chin early and puts him down. Gunnar Nelson is open for shots. We've seen Santiago Ponzinibbio chin the fuck out of him badly because his defense just isn't great. He has the karate Connor stance. He stances like Connor, looks for his shots, picks his shots, but don't let it fool you. Gunnar Nelson is not a good striker. He just isn't. He's an elite grappler, very good grappler, but like his wrestling is not great either. Like at welterweight, you don't really see Kevin Holland just getting submitted and put in submissions. Usually when Holland loses at welterweight, it's to an elite striker or the one-off to Hamza Chimaev where he got submitted. He's never been submitted other than that at welterweight, and his other three losses are to Stephen Thompson, Jack Della Maddalena, and Michael Venom Page. Like those guys are way higher level strikers than Gunnar Nelson. Some of the best strikers in the sport in the division. Some of the best 170 strikers, and he took JDM to a split decision. Had a couple decent moments against Michael Venom Page, but it's Michael Venom Page. What do you expect? And had some decent moments early against Wonder Boy. I think he's gonna knock Gunnar Nelson out. You need at welterweight, you need to be an elite wrestler like Hamzat Chimaev or an elite striker like Stephen Thompson, JDM, or Michael Page. And I don't think Gunnar Nelson is either of those. He doesn't have the tools to beat Kevin Holland. It's not middleweight Kevin Holland, guys. Welterweight Kevin Holland is actually reliable. So, yeah, I'm going Kevin Holland first round TKO. Let's move on to the next fight. Jan Blachowicz versus Carlos Ulberg, co-main event. This is going to be a sick fight. I really wanted to pick Blachowicz as an underdog because I really do think he has a chance, but I just can't pick him. We've seen two weekends in a row now. We've seen a fighter come off from a long layoff and dealing with injuries and surgeries. Marvin Vettori and Rafael Fiziev. I know I picked both of them to win, and I'm not making that mistake again. I can't pick Blachowicz. Coming off I think he's had like 4 surgeries or something like that since his last fight. He's been off for almost 2 years. I just can't pick him. Like that just I just can't. I can't pick him knowing that. And the fact that he's 42, I know Blachowicz is one of these fighters that doesn't really show signs of aging, but maybe with those surgeries and the long layoff, maybe it's finally time that we see Jan Blachowicz get a little bit rusty. He did not look amazing in the Alex Pereira fight. He was shooting takedowns. Yeah, he was getting them. He was holding them down, but on the feet, he didn't look amazing. He didn't look great on the feet. And I know Pereira is a much higher level striker than Carlos Ulberg. Don't get me wrong, Carlos Ulberg did not look amazing in his last fight against Volkan Ozdemir, but he beat Volkan Ozdemir and 30-27 him on 2 of the judges' scorecards. I know Ulberg fades. He isn't the same fighter after the first round. He does start to decline, but I just don't think Blachowicz is going to be able to do enough to win 2 rounds against Carlos Ulberg, who is surging. He's on a win streak. He's doing really good, finishing a bunch of guys. A lot of momentum compared to Blachowicz, who has like no momentum, coming off of a loss and a draw, hasn't won a fight in the last like 4 years. 1 win in the last 4 years, and it was a fight that he was arguably losing, and then Rakic got injured. So yeah, one win in the last 4 years, and it was a weird, controversial injury. So yeah, I don't know. Plus the injuries, the layoff, the surgeries. He's 42 years age. Yeah, 40 years of age. I just can't trust him. I just can't. I'm gonna go with Carlos Ulberg. I think he's gonna stay on the outside. He's gonna dip in and out, 1-2s, jabs. I think he's gonna be able to defend the low kicks. Even though I know Carlos Ulberg's low kick defense is a little bit iffy, still I think he can defend most of them, and I think he can do good there. And I don't know. I think he's just gonna dip in and out, jabs, 1-2s, city kickboxing style, and I think he just outpoints Jan Blachowicz. I think he's going to be faster. His takedown defense is going to be better. He's going to be able to explode out when Jan Blachowicz tries to shoot in. He's going to be able to like explode with the hips and defend the takedown. Blachowicz is not known for his explosive takedown ability, so yeah, I got to go Carlos Ulberg. Yeah, Carlos Ulberg, 29-28 decision. Let's move on to the next fight. Time for the main event, Leon Edwards versus Sean Brady. This is a tough fight to pick, man. Leon Edwards wants redemption. He wants to get back to the belt, but I just don't think he has it in him to beat a guy like Sean Brady. I think Brady can push a pace. I'm going Brady by unanimous decision, by the way. If you can't see it on the screen, maybe I don't know. Maybe I have some deaf viewers. I just want to point that out. I'm picking Sean Brady, 48-47. But yeah, I think Sean Brady's going to be able to get the takedowns. I think his jiu-jitsu is way better than Bilal's, so Leon's not going to be able to just roll around and try to get out, because if he does, I think Sean Brady can latch up a sub, which Leon has to be careful about. And yeah, I think that's going to make the ground game a lot more scary for Leon. I think he's going to be more worried about the takedowns because of the submission threat, whereas with Bilal, he takes you down, and you just got to worry about getting back up. With Brady, he takes you down. Not only do you have to worry about getting back up, you have to worry about him latching up a sub, which, yeah, Sean Brady, he's got good jiu-jitsu, man. And yeah, 17-1. I know that one loss is a TKO to Bilal Muhammad, but Bilal Muhammad just pressures guys, man. And that was like early on. Leon Edwards is not going to be able to walk forward, pressure you, and box you up. He just doesn't fight like that. Leon Edwards is going to be gun shy, like he always is. He's going to be, he's just going to be trying to be too technical and try to catch Sean Brady with something. Try to hit him with some fucking headshot dead moment. He wants to get that moment. He wants to get the highlight reel, but it's just not going to happen. Sean Brady's going to get in. He's going to box him up, pressure him. It's just going to be the same thing as the Bilal fight, but Leon's just going to be more tentative because he's going to be worried about the jiu-jitsu. Whereas Bilal, he was just worried about the wrestling. And I think Brady's striking is ever evolving. I think he's getting better on the feet. He looks so good against Gilbert Burns. Leon Edwards, I just think his style where he does just enough to get it done every single time, just barely enough to beat his opponent, is not going to work against a guy like Sean Brady. I don't know. I mean, the fifth round against Bilal Muhammad was very impressive. He was on top of Bilal Muhammad, raining down elbows, almost finished him. Leon Edwards looked good in that fifth round, but I think Sean Brady can get at least 3 rounds in this fight. I think he's going to win. Sean Brady's the pick. But yeah, that's going to be it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. Let me know who you guys are picking down below. I like reading your guys' comments. And yeah, catch you guys in the next one. Peace.